what it is, what it ain't, what it's gonna be. Hey, my collective cuties, it's been a minute, but I'm back with another Creatrix Collective tutorial just for you. Today we are going to be making this lovely mesh sundress with a little mermaid flare at the bottom. Let's get right into it. Gonna take your hook and make a slip knot. I am using what I believe to be a 15M hook. It has absolutely no label, but I'm pretty sure this is a 15mm hook. And we're going in with our shoulder to shoulder measurements. Normally with a smaller hook, let's say a 5mm hook, I chain about 40 to 45 for my shoulder to shoulder chain. Since this is a much bigger hook, I'm only going to be starting out with a chain of 15. So keep that in mind when you're doing your shoulder to shoulder measurements with this bigger hook. You really don't need that many chains. Once I finish my chain of 15 here, I'm going to chain an additional 2. And then we're going to work back down the chain with our foundation. It's literally the same as using a smaller hook. The hook is just bigger, so it looks a little bit funny and it's different. I'm not going to say it's harder, but it's different. It's something that you need to adjust to when you're switching over to these bigger hooks. But as you can see, I'm going back down that back down that chain with half double crochet. Yarn over, inserting my hook, and pulling through all 3 of those loops. I'm going to do this all the way down, and then we're going to go into our second row. Once you finish with your foundation chain, you're going to chain 2, turn your work, and now it should be much easier for you to see the next stitch in order to determine where your hook is going to go. We're continuing with half double crochets. This entire project is half double crochets, and we're just going to work our way back down that row. And you want to continue until you have a total of 8 rows. And once you're done with 8 rows, you're going to cut off and repeat this process on your second panel. If 8 rows is not long enough for a sleeve hole for your arms, you're just going to continue adding more rows until you have enough length to cover your arms. Here we are. Here's 1, and I've finished my second panel. Now we are going to attach these together. We're going to add a row of half double crochet at the top with a 5.5mm hook, and this just makes it easier for us to sew the 2 panels together. So take your 5.5M hook, slip knot your yarn. We're going to go in, chain 2, and you're going to add 2 half double crochet stitches to each space down this row. Again, that is 2 half double crochet stitches in each space. After you finish adding half double crochets times 2 into each space, this is how it should look. And this just makes it easier for us to sew the 2 panels together. So we're going to cut off our yarn, and of course what you do to one side you have to do to the other. So I am going to go in and do this exact same thing to my second panel here, and you should do the same. Once you are finished, this is how both of your panels should look with the lining at the top. Again, this just makes it easier to sew these 2 panels together, and it makes it look a bit neater. We're going to go ahead and connect these panels right now, still using our 5.5M hook. I'm going to go in and connect these with 4 to 5 single crochet stitches. You want to make sure you leave enough space in between for your head to fit through. We're essentially making our top head hole here. So you only need to connect both sides with about 4 to 5 stitches. It really just depends on how big your head is. And of course, what you do to one side, you have to do to the other side. So we're just going to turn our work and repeat that on the other side here, connecting these panels with about 4 to 5 single crochet stitches. And look how easy that was. Now we have our hole where we're going to be putting our head through. And now it is time for us to go ahead and cut this off. And we need to connect our bottom corners that are essentially going to be the holes for our arms. Make sure you flip that inside and out. You want to make sure those stitches where you sewed are on the inside. But here we are going to connect the corners, and again, what you do on one side you're going to do on the other. So I'll be back here once I've connected my corners, and then we're going to start on adding our length to the body of this piece. And once you finish your corner connections, this is how the piece should look. We have a hole for our head and 2 holes for our arms. Now we are going to turn our work over and immediately go in and start with 1 row of decreasing. We're going to chain up 2, and into the next 5 stitches you are going to add 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 half double crochets. Into the next 2 stitches, we're going to yarn over, insert our hook, and insert again into the very next space and pull through all of the loops on our hook in order to decrease. This is going to be our only row of decreases, and I'm going to show you one more time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yarn over, and pull through the next 2 stitches, pull up, and we're going to pull through all of the loops on our hook. That's going to be the same pattern as you go around this entire row, and I will meet you back once you are done with your row of decreases. Once you finish with your row of decreasing, you're going to chain 2 and continue working your way around and down. Now it's time for us to start adding some length onto the piece. You are going to chain 5 rows of half double crochets, no increasing, no decreasing, just 5 rows of half double crochets, and I'll meet you back here when you're done to show you what that should look like. After adding in 5 rows of half double crochet, after our 1 row of decreasing, this is where we are in the piece. We have our armholes, we have our neck hole. We're going to add some more length to the body before we decrease for our hip area. Did I say decrease? I definitely meant increase. After your 5 additional rows to add some more length, we should be right at the top of our hips, and we are going to go in and add 1 row of increases so that we can comfortably get into this mesh dress, okay? So you're gonna go in with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, half double crochet, and into the next stitch we're going to add 2 half double crochet stitches, and this is going to be our 1 and only row of increasing. Again, that pattern is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and into the next stitch we're going in with 2 half double crochet. That is going to be the pattern the entire way around, and again, this is our 1 and only row of increasing. And once you finish with your row of increases, you are going to continue working your way around and down, chaining up 2 and adding 1 half double crochet stitch into each space around, slip stitching to end the round. As always, I do also advocate for trying on the piece as you go. Once you reach the desired length, it is now time for us to start working on our increases at the bottom of the dress. Chain 2, insert your hook and count 1, 2, if I can get it in there, come on now, 3, 4, and 5. And into the next space I am going to add 2 half double crochet stitches, and that is going to be the pattern for this entire row. Count 5, and into the 6th space add 2 half double crochet stitches. After you finish this row, you're going to go around 1 row with no increases. Once again, that pattern is count 5, and into the 6th space add 2 half double crochets. Once you make it to the end of the row, you are going to slip stitch to close the round, and be sure that you stitch mark all of your rows where you are adding in your increases just to keep up with them. And after your row of no increases, we are going to go in with our next increase row. Chain 2, yarn over and count 1, 2, 3, 4, and into the next space we are going to add 2 half double crochet. I do apologize for the angle here, it's a little bit off, but again that pattern is 1, 2, 3, 4, and into the 5th space you are going to add 2 half double crochet. Remember to stitch mark your row, and the next row around will have no increases. Once you finish your row of no increases, it's time for us to go in with our next row of increases. Chain 2, yarn over, and into the next 3 spaces add 1, 2, 3 half double crochet, and into the 4th space you are going to go in and add 2 half double crochet, and that is going to be the pattern for this row. 1, 2, 3 half double crochet, and into the next space double up and add 2 half double crochet. Repeat this pattern all the way around. Once you finish, make sure you stitch mark this row as we have done all our rows with increases, and the following row will contain no increases. I'll meet you back here when it's time for our next increase row. And as always, especially with this wide of a stitch, make sure you are going in and stitch or marking the rows where you are adding in your increases. A constant reminder. And now, after your row of no increases, it is time for yet another row of increasing. And as you can see, this is how the increases are looking. We are going to chain 2, and in the next 2 spaces add 1 half double crochet, and into the 3rd space we are going to go in with 2 half double crochet, and that is going to be the pattern for this row. 1, 2 half double crochet. My yarn winder just didn't want to act right at this point. Come on now. Okay, and into the next space we are going to go in with 2 half double crochet. Once again, that pattern is 1, 2 half double crochet, and into the third space we are going to add 2 half double crochet. That will be the pattern repeated for this entire row. Be sure to stitch mark once you come to the end of this row and add in your slip stitch. And after this row, we are of course going to go in with a round that has no increases. Alrighty, now you know what to do. Make sure you stitch mark the row of increases. Go around your next row with absolutely no increases. And now it is just about time for our last and final row of increases. I really need to give you a new tripod, y'all, but let's go. Chain 2, and into each and every stitch on this row we are going to be adding 2 half double crochet. Again, into each and every stitch on this row you are going to add 2 half double crochet stitches. This is our last and final row of increases, and after that all you have to do is add the length. Add about 3 to 5 more rows of half double crochet and you are good to go. Thank you so much for joining me on this tutorial. I hope this was as easy for you as it is for me, and I hope you enjoyed making it just as much as I enjoyed creating this tutorial for you. Until next time, the Creatrix Collective signing off.